Just when you think you've seen all the cool and cute handhelds you could possibly see, another one pops up. The MiyooMini is pretty retro sleek, as we like to say, yet it somehow is adorable. How do they keep doing this, and why? Because I don't know if I can handle getting more handhelds. Of course I can handle that, right? I think we all can. My name is Amy Vishwanatha, and you are watching Techie Housewife. So how this happened was quite funny. I had just finished watching a video about the sweet little retro handheld, and I knew I really had to have it. And almost immediately my husband came down the stairs and I was like, hey, I really want this. And he said, I just ordered it. It's already on the way for you. So I have to give props to the hubs for that. Now I've had the MiyooMini for quite a while, and honestly it's been a little torturous because I've really wanted to play this, but I have held off. I have not opened it, played it, or anything like that because I want my experience with you guys to be authentic when I open it. I want you to see my first reactions and my first thoughts when I actually play this. With that being said, let's not delay this any longer because I cannot wait to play with it. Okay. This is how I received it, inside of a plastic, the flimsy plastic, I guess you would call an envelope, but it's not really an envelope. That is how I received this. When I opened it, this is what was inside, and it does have a sticker on it, and I'm curious to see if that's going to leave any residue, actually. I was a tad annoyed with it, but, that's life. What are you going to do? Let's see if it comes off. Yay, it looks like it's coming off. And there's another sticker underneath. Woohoo! Yeehaw. Anyway, let's not mess with that anymore. I'll take care of that later. So, first of all, I really love this case. It's quite adorable, and if what's on the inside is remotely as cute or even good quality as what's on the outside, then I will be happy. Let's open this thing up. And I just want to say this is, it's a hard shell. On the outside, it looks like it's pretty sturdy. It's not going to dent easy, so if you get one with this, keep it in it at all times, I would say, especially if you're traveling with it. Let's see what we got here. Basically, you have your USB-C cord, and you have your little manual. And let's see, is there anything else in there? And check it out. And also, we have the micro thumb drive. Pretty darn tootin' cool. I cannot wait to hold this. Okay. Oh, look at that. Isn't it, like, beautiful? And it's, wow, it's solid. Okay, if you take a look at it, first you'll notice we have the trusty D-pad, and it feels pretty good. I'm having great hopes that that's going to be really decent. We have our buttons, and it feels really good. The tension is good. The spring back is nice. It's not mushy or anything like that. From what I feel right now, I haven't played yet, so I will let you know when I play. Start select. We have the headphone jack, SD card slot, USB-C slot, the battery compartment. If you take a look at that, you can see what's there. Also, we have some sweet trigger buttons, or shoulder buttons, whatever you would love to call them. They have a nice clicky sound, and this device feels so solid. I love when you get something like this, and even though it's a mini pocketable device, they feel like they have not skimped on the materials, and that makes me very happy. So we have volume right here, and on top we have the lovely power button, which I'm turning on, and it's super responsive. As you can see, it boots right up pretty quick. I'm really impressed with that. The screen looks pretty bright. Let me just go to settings, and let's take a look. It's 7 out of 10 brightness. Let's see, And I'm sure that, you know, that may have some effect on the battery if we do that. So let's just turn it down a tad, maybe 6, I think. 6 looks good to me. So you can see here, we can go through and select what we would like to see, the color palette, the language, keys map. So this adorable MiyooMini can emulate the usual suspects: PlayStation, Mega Drive, Super Famicom, MAME, Game Boy, Famicom, Neo Geo, PC Engine, and so on. I don't think I need to list all of them, but you get the drift. It has a full lamination screen, 2000 mAh, double protection, high density polymer battery, which I showed you the battery. It's supposed to have 5 to 6 hours of life, and it is removable. So the great thing about this is it's going to be super easy to replace the battery if it goes bad. Let's actually look at some of the specifications. The MiyooMini has a 2.8 inch IPS screen, which is 640 by 480 resolution. It looks really nice and pretty and vibrant, if you ask me, at least for what I see initially here. And the operating system is Linux. It has a vibration motor, which is super cool. Again, this is a tiny little device. Look at all the stuff they're packing into this thing. And the CPU is ARM Cortex A7 dual core 1.2. This comes in a few different colors. We happen to have white, but it also has gray, black, blue, and I really do think this is pretty. I'm very happy with the color we selected. And I think gray also, if you're going for the super retro look, I think gray would be pretty cool as well. This is pretty small, 93 millimeters by 65 millimeters by 18. And I think it's a perfect handheld size. I know I say this almost every other time I open like a micro size or a mini size or any pocketable device. I absolutely love them. And I feel like sometimes each new one almost ups each previous one I've had, and if this works as well as I think it's going to, this may actually replace my previous one I was carrying. It does come with some preloaded games. It has some storage expansion. The original is 32 gig micro SD, but it supports a maximum expansion of 128 gigs, which is pretty cool. Okay, now that we have all that out of the way, we can just talk about the device itself. Like I said, it feels super sturdy. It does not feel cheap at all. It feels great, it feels solid, and I love the colors. The buttons, they're just like little pieces of candy. What is that candy called? I can't remember. But it looks like one of those little candies we used to eat when we were kids. The screen is pretty vibrant. I have it turned down to 6 right now, and you can see that it looks pretty bright for being on 6. And I put it there so I could hopefully keep the battery from draining too fast. And I don't think 6 is a problem. Even 5 might be good, depending on what you're doing. And I think in low light or dark, you should be able to turn it way down and still see it great. If you just look at the hues, everything looks pretty vivid. They look crisp. There's nothing that looks washed out here. And let's see for the viewing angles. Aside from a little bit of reflection of things, I think the viewing angles for such a small device are great. And I don't know who's going to be playing like this so you can't see it when you're playing, but actually you can see it. You could probably play like that. But especially for face on, it's excellent. And for being a mini device, sometimes you might be concerned that you can't read the text or you can't see the pictures properly. I think the size for each little thumbnail is perfect. You can see what you're selecting and there shouldn't be any problems with that. So what we want to do here is go into game. We select that. So let's see, what shall I pick? So I am going to play Super Mario World. Yay! Right here it has a speaker, and it's only one speaker, but listen to this thing. It puts some consoles that have 2 speakers to shame. It has such a loud voice for such a tiny little device. I love it. If you look right here, this tells you the battery life. We are on green. We're doing good. Okay, enough of me rambling on here. Here's the moment of truth. Let's go. Okay, and I think it's probably going to take a couple minutes to just get used to how small of an area I have here. And the buttons are very responsive. It's just, I have to, whoops, get used to this being so small. And I think once that's conquered, whoa. I think once I conquer that, this will definitely be a great pocketable device to take along with myself. To take along with myself. To take along with... Can you tell I have trouble talking and playing? I'll just show you the rest without saying anything. So far, so good. I'm enjoying the gameplay. And can you see this device though? Can you look at that screen? So if you push the middle button, we can go down and we can save where we are. We can load where we previously saved. We can go to the native menu or we can exit the game. How about PlayStation? Let's try something there. Wow. Let me turn that down some more. That's a little louder than the other game was. Keep in mind that when you're seeing the screen, I also have like 5 bright lights, actually 6 lights, if you count the above lights I forgot to turn off. Oopsie. But look how well you can still see this at 6 out of 10 brightness. And again, while playing the other game, the buttons felt great. You'll see it's staying between 59 and 60 FPS. So it's having no issues whatsoever playing this game. Anytime now. I would like to... So let's... So it looks like I might have to do some configuring for my buttons. Only one button works. Oh, boogers. Another favorite. Woohoo! Here we go. I'm excited. I'm really enjoying this game. I just got killed. I love it. It's playing great. I really am enjoying this. The buttons are responsive. The D-pad is responsive, has great tension. It feels solid and it's not like springy. Nothing is sticking. My fingers are fitting great on the buttons. Actually, I think I might be getting used to it already. I like that the triggers have clickiness. So, like I said, no bounce back. They have a little movement, but they're not super jiggly like a few things I have played before. If you can see that right there. They do have movement, but you expect that because they have to work right. You hear that? Nice. You feel like there's something really, a membrane is really nice underneath there. And for as small as the device is, I think the layout is perfect. I find it's really easy to see. It looks great, has plenty of volume. The volume is pretty awesome on this thing for so tiny of a device. It's clear, it's not muffled, and it's located right here on the bottom, so it's kind of right in your face so you can hear properly. Of course, this is Game Boy Aladdin. This is Mega Drive. And Daffy Duck actually is one of my favorite characters out of Looney Tunes. What else can we do here? Why did I never play this game? I absolutely would have adored something like this. This is Master System. Let's see how well this plays. That's cute. This PC Engine. That's So the question normally is, let's turn this down a little bit. Do I recommend this device? And I would like to say, of course I do. Such a great device. It's hard to believe that the device as small as this plays as well as this does. And I know I shouldn't be too surprised at that. So my basic thoughts are that this is a compact, pocketable, and at the same time pretty comfortable handheld for being a mini. It even has a different, and it even, oops, I'm getting beat up here. See, I shouldn't be talking. This is a compact, pocketable, and at the same time pretty comfortable handheld for being a mini. It even has a decent high resolution display. The controls are pretty good. Actually, I'd say they're more than pretty good. They're pretty great for this, what this device is. It also has pretty decent trigger buttons or shoulder buttons, whichever you like to call them. The D-pad is really good, much better than I thought it was going to be. I think they have a great membrane under there, and it's really quite pleasant to use when you feel that kind of a, not overly clicky, but it just has a great response, I guess you would say. And the buttons are great. They're not mushy. They're not overly clicky. They don't have bounce back. They're pretty good. And they look beautiful on here. And I would say the overall build quality of the MiyooMini is excellent. It feels pretty sturdy for such a small device. I mean, and you know how I always do this. It's not giving way. It's not, doesn't feel like it's going to break. It's really quite good. And you know, thinking about this, MiyooMini, if they keep this up, they are going to be able to compete with Nick and a few other names we have out there. I think that they are well on the road to becoming a great handheld emulation console creators, but I do highly recommend this. I think it would be well worth your time to have it if you collect all of these devices like this. If you're going for a mini device, I would recommend this over most of them. Just in a short time I have used it. I don't think you can go wrong with this, honestly. So to me, this was very usable straight out of the box, or straight out of the case. But I love the case that came with it. It's very protective. It's a nice, like, it feels like rubbery, but it's a hard rubbery shell. It's perfect for an already sturdy device. I think you have a lot of protection when it comes to this. And if you have the option to get this, I say go for it. I don't think that you can go wrong picking this up. It's just a super device. So thank you so much for joining me today. I do appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please share this with your friends, and if you would like, you can hit like and subscribe. And as always, have a game-tastic day.